Hi, my name is Tim Burns. I run this channel which examines the arguments of Kent Hovind. I recently had the chance to email some questions to Kent, and he answered them, so in this series of videos I will be responding to his answers. My third question asked, if you gave a definition of kind that you were completely confident was correct, and then somebody showed a proven example of an animal evolving into another kind, would you accept that macroevolution happens, or would you just say that your definition of kind was wrong? Hovind starts out by saying, I don't think anybody has a clear definition of species, that's for sure. No, it's not. While it is true that there's some minor disagreements on the details of what constitutes a species, it is nonetheless not hard at all to find a clear definition of species simply by doing a Google search of definition of species. It seems like what Kent's doing here is trying to make it seem like the problem of definition is just as bad on the evolution side as it is on the creation side, but that's simply not true. On the evolution side, there is a clear concrete definition of species, and some people argue over minor details. On the creation side, there is no real agreed upon definition of kind at all, which Kent even admits in his answers, saying, I don't know where I can point you to one other than most people understand there are just different kinds of animals. Unlike the definition of species, which some people argue about, there isn't even a definition of kind for people to argue about. It's just whatever Hovind or someone else feels like pulling out of thin air in the moment. And usually, when they do pull out a definition, it's not something that can be tested against. Whether they're doing this intentionally or not, the definition they give for a kind is usually such that there's no way we could ever show that animals do evolve into other kinds, even if it is really happening. Notice how, at the end of his answer, he says I shouldn't deal in hypotheticals, I should give him an actual example, even though he never gave me an actual definition. How can I give him an example of an animal that evolves into a different kind of animal, when he can't even tell me what a kind is? In short, the claim that animals only bring forth after their own kinds is simply an untestable hypothesis. That is not good science. My fifth question was, if there was an animal that looked like a dog and was related to other dogs, but it had the ability to spend weeks at a time underwater without coming up for air, would that count as a non-dog? That is, a different kind? The question might kind of seem to come out of left field. I'll admit I actually messed up a bit because I meant to put it right after the third question about kinds. The point of this question is to illustrate that it doesn't matter what kind of crazy variations we can show. Without a concrete definition of kind to work from, there's nothing stopping him from saying, oh hey, that's still just a dog. See, we may not have dogs that breathe underwater for long periods of time, but we do have fish that breathe on land for long periods of time. If that's still just a fish, then why even bother calling them fish anymore? It is a different kind, not an amphibian, but a clear descendant of fish that is now a distinctly different type of organism than other fish. If you don't think that's macroevolution, then I would contend that it's simply not possible for anything to convince you.